Talk, hear me sing. Open up the door. Is it less? Is it more? Tell me to beware. Are you here? Are you there? Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, everything update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to DeSci. Hello, DeSci. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. We got a bit to go over today. Remember in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, where Obi-Wan's talking to Mace Windu and Master Yoda, and he's saying, I must admit, without the clones, it would not have been a victory. And Master Yoda says, victory, Obi-Wan. And then he goes on his whole thing, like saying this is not a victory, and then he says, begun the Clone War has. Begun the Whale Wars have. This is the fourth time in the last 8 days that we have blasted through 0070, and then immediately come right back down. In many cases, it was 0051. And let's not forget, outside of the last 8 days, we were in that 0002, 0003 range for months. And granted, at any time, it's possible that we do go back down there. Wow, NASDAQ adds MicroStrategy to the index. Huh. All right. Interesting. We'll go over that at some point. So yeah, it seems like the new trading floor is between 0007. I think it got up to like 78, 76, a couple of times over the last week, but then it goes right back down. I think 5.1 was the lowest if I go over the last 7 days. So it's like a quadruple top now. Yeah, 5.1. But again, before then, we were at the 0003s, and even 000 was at 2. I think at one point that wicked down to like 2.1, but it like 2.6, 2.7 was around where you could comfortably buy. Can we still go down there? I don't know. Can you try to trade these wild swings? You can certainly try to, and if you pay attention constantly, you'd be able to see like, oh, okay. It went from 0055, 0067. Maybe I could go and take a little profit. And then when it comes back down, buy again. And you could have done that. Well, I guess you could have done that since last week when we were at 0003. And then you could have doubled your money. And again, back and forth. Now, at some point, this is going to break up or break down. I don't know in the short term where it goes. It could break down back to the 000. Most likely, it'll go back down to 0005s. And it could, if it breaks below that and we get to the 4s, do we hang out at the 4s? Do we get to the 3s? We're not sure. Or it could break up to the upside. I don't know what's really been announced. So there's been no wow factor. There's been no pizzazz. There's been no crazy announcement that people are like, oh my God, they're doing this. Oh my God, let's go. Back in the day, you had that multiple times. You had like, when the app before it even launched, they're like, yo, we have Batman. And they're like, do we have Batman? And then launch Batman, like, oh my God, we have Batman. But even when the app launched, because back in the day, David and Dan were in like Telegram, and they were, this coffee's really hot. Back in the day, David and Dan were in like Telegram, and there was no evidence of an app. There was no evidence like, hey, we promise, here's our token. We promise we're going to, do X, Y, and Z. We have these licenses. But until the app launched, there was very few. Like the app, the token was in like the quad zeros, like quad 04, quad 03, quad 06, whatever it was. And even when the app launched, it didn't immediately go up. Like you had Batman right there, sit in the store, and there were a couple that sold, and a couple, every now and then. It wasn't until a couple months later when you had the OMI Gem, you had Logan Paul, you had all this stuff, and then it did like a 1000x in like a couple weeks. It was nuts. And then after that all kind of dumped back down, and then you had this speculation, hey, you had a lot of people using the app, there was a lot of money in there. And then when they announced Marvel, we doubled in like a day. So doubling is really nothing new, especially at our price point now. We were doubling when we were at like 002, whatever. And then even when we were at like 003, 004, whatever we were, we doubled again when we got Disney. And they announced Golden Moments. It went bananas. So those, okay, well, that makes sense. They announced these huge IPs, they announced this major stuff, and again, NFT was in that narrative. Now we seem to be going up like 20, 30, however much percent, and it's been on no news. At least nothing that the public knows. There's speculation, like was saying, like, it's a lawsuit over. There's a couple of things on X today, like saying that, hey, the lawsuit is supposedly over between that old guy, he who shall not be named, and then VeVe, Ecomi, Orbis, whatever. But there's been radio silence from the team. I don't know what if it went. Let's do a thought process, do a thought experiment, and say that these particular pumps have been because of that. Well, obviously, it seems that it'd be going well, but if it was going well, then why is it continuing to dump back down? It might just be that the opposite happened, and people are just finding the token, like, hey, let's go and buy this because we think it can go crazy in when the NFT narrative comes out, and then maybe the lawsuit's going bad, and then people are just like, yo, let's just dump whatever we have, because also, again, we don't know, it's anyone's guess. But again, supposedly the lawsuit ended from that dude. And be advised, guys, this dude is not the dude that people were talking about. I don't even have the screenshot. The person that talked about it is notorious for giving out false information, spreading fake news, and all that jazz. That being said, there's a couple of other things related to OMI that have gone on the past couple of days. Yeah, VeVe Viral says the OMI token has now had 3 goes at the 0007s this week, and this is before this happened. Now it's 4 goes. Once it even touched 0008. Any one of these days will break on through to the other side. Oh, love that Doors reference. And not look back. Or not. Financial advice. He's pretty optimistic that we're going to break to the upside and not the downside. Now, break to the upside, sure, we've waited long enough. That's fine. That's fine. Break to the downside, okay. I'll tell my boys, all right, let's fill our bags one last time. And then, we do. So I'm fine with both. There's no real way to read what goes, because again, we've had like a quadruple top now, and now we're back down. We're back down like 20, like 18% from like the 00076. We're at 0063 now. It was trying to fight to stay up there at like the 00069, and we're coming nice down below the 69, that mark. And then it broke back down. But do we stay in the 0006? Do we go back to the 0005? Do we break below that? I don't know. Something else I wanted to point out that had happened. I don't know if this had any influence or not. But Crypto Rain has a really big network and they have a lot of deep pockets. So Rain says, do you hear that? That's the sound of the blow off top bull market approaching. It isn't here yet, but it is coming. If you are properly prepared, it is going to be life changing. He tags me, Mr. MC1, Dr. Stuff. And let's go to something. Let's be a little negative, or is this a little? He answers 2 people here, or maybe just answers 1. Scott Colantonio says, what's your new OMI price prediction for the top? And Crypto Rain says, well, 5 cents or higher. And Scott says, dang, that is bullish. That would be a fantastic outcome. So for Scott Colantonio, who I don't know what he was expecting. Maybe he's expecting even a 10x from here is still 006. That's still nice. And again, from where we were at the bottom at 0003, that's like a 20x. Fair. Maybe he was only expecting 1 or 2 cents, but when Rain says 5 cents or higher, that's like, oh, damn, it's awesome. You do have Wes, thank you for being a member, saying, hey, Rain, what happened to the 30-cent price prediction? Nothing has changed, question mark? Crypto Rain says, well, if you haven't noticed that 30 cents falls in the 5 cents or greater answer that he put out, well, that was pretty obvious, but perhaps for some, I forget that numbers are just harder. That is my bad. So again, Rain not saying that it won't go to 30 cents. He's just saying that in his opinion, it's likely going to be 5 cents or higher, and or higher can mean, I guess, up to 30 cents. Could be up to 50 cents. We'll get him on the show. Maybe, well, he'll be on next week for OMI is my homie, but we'll also get him on There's gonna be a lot of people coming on Sunday. It is going to be my birthday, so I'm going to have a birthday stream. Cannot wait for that. I'm probably gonna do 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to midnight. My birthday stream sounds pretty fun. You have Opsor saying, I don't know, probably double the current all-time high, where he says namely 2 or 3 cents, maybe more. Scott Colantonio says seems reasonable. Iron Man says, well, 10 cents. Scott Colantonio says, well, that could be life-changing. Bobby Stat says wife-changing. So out of these people, again, the entire status got about 1,600 impressions. So maybe out of those 1,600 people that saw that, maybe there's a couple of whales or even one person that saw as well as like, hey, listen, this guy Crypto Rain, I've been following for a long time. He's right on damn near everything. Very smart, very logical. And if he says it could do this, it's like 100x from here. Let's just go and just buy as much as we can. And maybe they have. Now, also something that I haven't brought up, maybe I have in the past, but I don't really remember it, is the possibility that, again, whale wars, it could just be one person. Now it's like, well, Chavez, it's not all on one thing. It's not all just on OKX. It's not just on MEXC. It's on several of these things. And okay, fair point. And you see, I'll show you guys why some of that matters. The difference in some of these were between 6.1 and 7.5 at one point, where on MEXC, which is a really big exchange where we have a lot of volume, it was 0.0061. And then on certain ones, on Base, on Ethereum, on Ascendex, we were in the 0.00 like 7.5 range. And that's just like, okay, this is a large chance for arbitrage. That's not the only time I've seen that. But that lends to the thing, like, it's not all happening at once. It's not all across all exchanges evenly. It really was on a couple of these ones, maybe Base and Uniswap. But all of the volume, I'll take a look at it right now, I think was OKX. So we have 3.7 million in volume. OKX has 1.2. Okay, so OKX is 1.2 million and Gate.io is 1.4. So we have 2.69, pretty much 2.7 between those two. And then after that, it gets really, really down. There's, $1/3 of $1 million on BitGet, a little bit less than that on MEXC. So out of the, what is it, 2.7, 3. So it's like 3.3, give or take, out. 3.3 million just between those 4 exchanges, and you have 400,000 really just spread across the rest of them. So it's just seems to be those couple major exchanges. Everything else is just whatever. So clearly it's people that either have accounts on OKX, Gate.io, etc., or it's people that have friends that have those accounts. They're like, hey, I'll wire you the money. You can do this for me. Here are some stable coins. Whatever it is. And so it seems to be just from these couple of places. It could just be one person having 2 accounts, one on OKX, one on Gate.io, because maybe that's where the most liquidity is. Oh shoot, what is that? And then they say like, okay, well, clearly there's been a lot of resistance at this level, so I'll buy it up to this level, and then whatever they do, they do. If it breaks through, it breaks through. But if it comes down again, I'll clearly buy at the 0.005 level again, because again, every time it does this, it goes back down to that level. So it could just be one person or a couple of people. It could be a pot of whales. Doesn't need to be just one. Or I guess the other thing that could happen, maybe they need volume. Maybe this is just, there's no way this is bots. There's like no, I mean, it could be. Let's say one of the ways that you can get on exchanges, if you have a certain amount of volume, and the certain amount of volume that you need, a lot of times it's maybe just like $1 million, which this had. There's no reason to really do this. But that was on the lower tier exchanges. That was like MEXC, that was BitGet, that was, maybe for some of the higher exchanges, maybe you need 5 million in volume, or 3, whatever it is. So maybe that's something that's seen that one. Very nice. So maybe it has to do with something like that. Anyway, that's the whale wars. That's the OMI stuff. Again, we were at like 0.0076 before, and we have since gone down. Let's go over a couple of other things we have here. I mentioned Back to the Future yesterday, where Ben Rose says you can own it digitally from just 20 gems on VeVe Official. There is an article that was published about this, and it was from Go Collect. It says Back to the Future, nostalgia soars. Marty's Hero hoverboard fetches $237,500 at auction. This is by Chris Severs, aka Market Smart, over on X, saying the hoverboard, futuristic dream made real in Back to the Future Part 2, has taken another leap forward into history. This time in the collector's world, on 7 December, Pearl Harbor Day, Marty McFly's, aka Michael J. Fox's Hero flying wire-rigged lenticular hoverboard sold for a staggering $237,500 at Heritage Auction. Indeed, friends, the collectibles industry is very present these days. Recall Dorothy's red ruby slippers recently sold for mind-blowing $32.5 million. So for our younger readers, a brief Back to the Future recap. Honestly, we don't really need that. It was one of the greatest things in the 80s. Saying when a sequel, Back to the Future Part 2, finally came out in '89, you kids have no idea how hard it was being patient back then. It thrilled us with a 2015 futuristic world, self-lacing shoes, holograms, and hot damn, hoverboards. Hoverboards specifically epitomized a fantastically fun vision of the future. Marty's daring escape from Griff and his gang of bullies, borrowing a hoverboard from a child in Hill Valley's Times Square, remains one of the most thrilling sequences in the series. Now, it is a unique piece of film history. He goes on to talk about all that. This is a pretty long article. But he goes on and says that learn more from the article featured on Medium, where we are talking about hoverboards in the digital space. Are those pretty nifty yet ridiculously difficult modern hoverboards hit toy store shelves somewhere back in 2014? Like so many other ideas, they tried to emulate the fun of flying from the film among many concepts that have arisen over the centuries. Some strange reason, they were just so much harder to jump on and go, like that scene with Marty. But most of us, of course, simply smile and wonder what it would be like to ever have the kinds of funds needed to acquire pieces of cinematic history. However, for those like me that are deep fans of this passive brand and its intellectual property, licensed digital collectibles offer an attractive, accessible way to participate and, yes, own a piece of history. VeVe, platform known for its massive array of the world's best-known branded licensed digital collectibles, released a series of hoverboard NFTs in June 2021 with Universal City Studios, LLC, and Ambient Entertainment. This allows for fans to own a virtual version of the iconic prop, while these hoverboards are also the first appearance on the blockchain in premium digital format, and in a world first, Marty's hoverboard is sporting the Mattel logo as seen in the movie. Obviously, for that timeless icon, you can only go to VeVe. Anyway, let's just go over Definity real quick, just because I love them. They sponsor the channel. They are at 5.5 cents. They do typically trade between 3.5 and 6 cents. You know, every like couple of months, they go from one way to the other. In my opinion, because they are doing a ton of volume, they have a lot of net revenues, and they have the whole other gambling side of the business of crypto repo. I think this does absolute numbers, and it does 100x from here. You're not even at $1 billion market cap. Be like 950 million. But I think it does that fairly easily. Obviously, it's not financial advice, but I have a really big bag in it. And for a time, I was thinking like, okay, well, this is something that could one day surpass my OMI bag, and it still likely will. But OMI has started to kind of run away a little bit, even if every time it goes up, it comes back down. Maybe Definity won't have that. Maybe when it runs for good. This could happen multiple more times. This is not something that is like, okay, you know, fifth time's a charm. Maybe the fifth time it goes up. But again, this is like a quadruple top, and that does not look great for people that are trying to trade. Like, okay, it seems to cannot get past this. Can it? Will it ever? Of course, I think it will, but you know, you have people that maybe don't know the company. They just look at charts and it's like, whatever. But again, this is on like no news. Now, granted, I've said this before, but I gotta say it again. In an episode of Dragon Ball, Master Roshi says, "Minds are like books. You can read them if you know how." It's the same way with companies. It's the same way with the writing on the wall. Like the writing on the wall might be in hieroglyphics, but you might be able to go in and say like, well, I know hieroglyphics, or I have this decoder, I have this special glasses that translates it for us. This type of this type of thing is easier the more you do it. It's like crossword puzzles. You have to get good at them. So I was on the Sunday level at one point. That was so good. Anyway, take a look at the charts, and it tells you one thing. Sorry, I had a chip on my lip. But then you take a look at the story, and it's completely different. And it's like, okay, people are literally people that just do TA and don't pay attention to the company. Yes, that can help you confirm certain things, but you're literally judging a book by its cover. And for oh man, I got it on my beard too. Yeah, just trim that beard. If you were to say, "Hey, I knew VeVe back in the day," okay, you knew some of the struggles that happened, and say like, "Hey, I know why things are starting to pump now. Things have changed. The app is different. The app is better." Now, granted, is the app what it was like a month ago? No, but some good reasons, some bad reasons. The app again, we have that update. I'll go over that later. Says, okay, well, we're continuing with the drops, and even though there are less people now, and there are less mints that are going around, there might be a play here. Some of these mints that you see, for the first Marvel Mighties, the commons had 28, almost 29,000 mints for those commons, and they sold out. Now you have some of these characters that have like 3 and 5,000 mints. They're like, whoa. Some of them have like 700 mints. It's like, this would have done numbers 3 years ago. Question is, do those numbers come back? Do the number of users come back? I think so. For two reasons. One, you just have that NFT narrative that comes back. It's not going to matter what VeVe does. They're just going to go on and they're just going to, oh my god, this freaking chip that's in my freaking beard. It's just going to come back because people are one, that NFT narrative is going to hit. It's going to be cool again, and then also there's going to be a big chance for manipulation. Now, what I mean by that is that people will go into and they'll create these groups. They'll say like, hey, go buy a bunch of Shuri Black Panthers. There's like a couple hundred of her. Go buy a bunch of those, create a group, have an influencer pump it, and say like, be all woke, be like, oh, for this reason, oh, the first queen of Wakanda. I don't know if she's the first queen, the first female Black Panther. She may or may not be. There might be someone down the line. I don't know. You could have something like that. It doesn't have. It could be with a lucky gold Rosso dragon. They could be like, listen, there's only 8 of these. Buy like 6 of them for like 10 grand, and then just go up and pump the shit out of it, and then pump it to 10 grand, sell it for 10 grand a piece. You're going to have those types of things. You're going to have those types of groups, and that's not something that VeVe can help. It's like, hey, we just have the product. What people do with the product is not up to us. That's up to them. So you have those reasons why people will come back. You know, again, the narrative. But outside of that, let's say you're just really focused on the company. You don't really know cycles, and say, okay, they got this guy Ben. So what are the consequences of this? What was happening before, and what's different now? It's like, okay, well, what was happening before? David was essentially running the company and dealing with licensing, and it was really hard for him to do both because a lot of times, hey, he's out in this country, he's out in this country, he's out doing the best that he can to secure these licenses, and it's really hard to run the company when you're doing that. And okay, well, now you kind of have Ben Rose that can help run the company while David goes and does what he does best. A lot of times when you're CEO, you don't get to do the things that you really want to do because you're constantly putting out fires. Constantly, one of your employees, multiple of your employees are always going to have something going wrong with them. Girlfriend's pregnant. My wife's cheating on me. I just had I just lost my whole, like, my mom has cancer. Like, it's going to be always something with one of your employees. And I don't, in like, the business owners that I used to deal with, granted, it was a lot messier problems because it was like construction guys that'd be like, dude, one of my guys has like HPV. One of my guys is like drunk all the time. One of my guys is literally a functioning heroin addict. I've heard everything, seen everything. Now, obviously, in the VeVe, you kind of have like a top tier white collar business where a lot of people are developers, a lot of people have degrees, a lot of people are really smart. They're not going to really have a lot of those issues. But again, it's always going to be something. And as CEO, a lot of times you do have to deal with a lot of those things. You have to put out those fires. And it was really hard for David to focus on a lot of the licenses when he had to legit run this billion-dollar company. But now that Ben Rose is coming in, and he's not just like putting out fires, he's not just like babysitting, he's not just making sure, all right, let's let things run smoothly. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom, and in not a good way. Anyway, Ben's going in, and I don't know what type of benefits package he has. Wouldn't answer me on the podcast. But he's clearly incentivized to go in and to grow the company. I don't know if he's going to be allowed shares in the company. I don't know if he's going to be allowed to get OMI at a discount. I don't know if he's allowed to, just says like, hey, you get a fiat bonus. Again, you're not like one of the heads at Binance without having a bunch of crypto. Like I know he said that like, yeah, I got like a little bit of crypto. You're not one of the heads at Binance, and like you don't have crypto. Like, how many projects did you see go in there and he like knew was gonna? No, like there's no way. Guarantee you he has some crypto. Guarantee you he has some OMI. Even though it's not official, this is just me going in and kind of speculating here. But the stuff that he's done, or the stuff that he's doing, hiring 6 people for marketing so far, I can't say what it was about or when it was, but there's already been meetings between the new affiliate marketing programmer person and a couple of the people that have been influencers. And that if they're already doing meetings now in December, do we roll anything out at the end of this year? No. Do we roll anything out in Q1? I think we can. I think we can roll something out in even if it's like late Q1, we might be able to do it. Definitely Q2. And what I say that just maybe it's again, I don't know what it is. I can guess, but I don't really know what it is. I don't want to speculate too much on it. But he's hitting the ground running, shaking it up in multiple different ways. And if you're somebody that just pays attention to the company and say like, okay, well, what are the consequences of that going to be? You're going to get new users. He says he wants to 4x the users. I think that is setting the bar really low. I think he knows that. I think he knows that in 6 to 12 months, it's likely going to be a multiple of that. And he obviously wants to set expectations low and then over deliver. I'm going to go and say probably what's a little bit more likely, and we won't get 4x the amount of users in 6 to 12 months. I think we get 8 to 10x the amount of users in that 6 to 12 months because of both of what he's doing and the narrative. 27 minutes. Okay, not bad. And when that happens, again, you have more people that are going to be incentivized to use OMI. Anyway, where was I? Ended up selling my Vogue, ended up selling his blue David U for $2,000. Picked up a Todd mint 375, Superman mint 151, and a Vader Ultra mint 258. Not a bad $20. Good for you. Sketchlab had said, what about Ecomi being more active on social posts for OMI? I think they should automatically do that. Now, there's obviously got to be some criteria. Is like, hey, OMI's pumping. You can't just go and be like, yo, look at that pump. You don't want to go and do that. But if you go on and say like, this feels like a good day to sip and have a coffee, and then on the bottom of the coffee just have a red. Oh, it's like just go in and have like a red ring somewhere. I would have said like Xbox red rings of death. Like, hey, look at that. Oh, but people would think that we have some type of partnership with Xbox, so that would not be a good thing. That would not be a good. Too much speculation, and we'll get to more of that. Fonzie .eth says, name an NFT that has a special place in your heart. I said the KFC collectible with my KFC food. Gotta love them. Brock says, PSA, scaling up Fishmas should be back shortly. Charlie Fisher says, I'm honored to have the number 77 logo and appreciate these 2 legends. And for this amazing opportunity, my VeVe family is the best, having the David and Dan. Number 77's got a matching set, which is great. Okay, more on OMI Bitforex news. Bitforex says, dear Bitforex users, we are aware that while some withdrawal requests have been successfully processed, others remain pending. At present, we are facing a significant shortage of manpower and are working tirelessly to recover assets frozen by a third-party exchange. Please rest assured that we are doing everything within our capacity to expedite this process. In addition, we are diligently working to restore account data and verify user information to ensure accuracy and security. These measures are part of our commitment to resolving the situation as quickly and efficiently as possible. We deeply appreciate your patience and understand during this challenging time. Best regards, the Bitforex team. Get it off of there whenever. I have a friend of mine or a buddy of mine that was like, hey, we might have to get off. He still hasn't KYC'd or anything. Like, give me some time. I'll go and get it off for you. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. But yeah, let's go back to this. Let me just see how the rest of the market's doing. Because OMI did tend to run with Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin's actually up on the day. 3%, nice. Ethereum trying to break through that that 4K. It's at 39.44. Let's see what Flo's doing here real quick. Flo's back up to a doll hair. Let's go, Flo. Go, Flo. It's your birthday. Mudo saying DeSci versus memes. Real opportunity. Reminder, the entire DeSci ecosystem has a market cap of just 1.2 billion. Compare that to meme coins collectively worth over 100 billion. DeSci is solving real problems, democratizing research, funding breakthroughs, and decentralizing health. Tokens like DNA, Mudo, and RSC, Brian Armstrong backed, and AIMX, Sanofi, are pioneering decentralized health and research funding. Shout out to Mudo for sponsoring the channel. Gotta love it. Who's betting on real innovation? Don't sleep on decentralized science. There was something yesterday that I saw. Oh, shoot, stay. I accidentally almost left the studio. There was something that I saw about this thing called Donnie. It was on Base. Since that sponsored by a couple people on Base, now I'm kind of just keeping an eye on other stuff. There was a thing called Donnie. It was up like 100. Yeah, last 24 hours, up 161%. Like what? They do not sponsor chat. I have no idea who they are. This could be a rug for all I know. I don't have any Donnie. I just every now and then, whenever I see something like that, I just think like, huh, all right. That's a thing that happens. And remember, it could happen to you, could happen to anyone. Let's go back to the rest of this stuff. VeVe Knight, or VeVe _ Knight, KNIHT, has sadly passed away. You have MSC squad going out and saying VeVe Knight will be missed. He was a great friend, comic collector, and even better family man. This is a GoFundMe account set up for him, and that's on MSC squad's thing. I assume that GoFundMe is legit and stuff. Either way, everyone comment F down below to pay respects. RIP. Seemed like a really fun guy. Seemed really cool. So, rip. And then you had the VeVe fam go in and express their condolences as well. And oh my God, my friends just got a puppy named Castiel. Cats for short. Little King Charles pupper. New life breathed into this world. Gotta love it. Okay, where was I? Look. Hurricane Man, John Sims saying level 100. The most unexpected and amazing byproduct of this journey has been getting to know so many of the amazing and generous VeVe fam at virtual and in real life events. What sets VeVe apart from all other digital platforms is the amazing community. And VeVe Digital Collectibles goes in and says, please join us in celebrating our newest level 100. We thank you for your amazing dedication and honor your incredible 100 accomplishment. Welcome to the club. Shout out to him. Heckin' awesome. One of the other things why I think certain people will see an explanation why we've been pumping is that you see all of the other companies or other platforms that have just said, like, you know what, we're done. I mean, you had Artifact, like in 2021 or December of 21, so it's like height of the bull. Nike acquired Artifact for a sum of in excess of $1 billion. But as you might imagine, there's a lot to unpack there. And again, we went over that about horrendous capital allocation. You have Recur, which raised $50-ish million, maybe it was 350. I think it was minimum $50 million. You had, what was it? I keep forgetting this is how insignificant they were. The one that Mr. Beast was partnered with, Quid. They had like Animoca brands backing them, which they have like unlimited money. And that dude Paul Barron is like rated Quid above VeVe because either one or two reasons. Either he was being paid to do that, that's the most likely reason, or two, that man is severely low IQ, but to get to where he is, I don't think he's low IQ. I think he was just paid to say that. You know, they had raised a bunch of money as well. failed. Like all of these other digital collectible company platforms failing. Now, it's a lot of it's just the bear market. Now, what you could do and what VeVe probably should have done in 2021 was raise some money. I actually offered to help raise some money. We actually came really close. But by that time, they didn't need it. I think their bigger mistakes was what a lot of people know in traditional finance is the best time to raise money is when you don't need it. That's when you have hand. If I can quote George Costanza, that's when you have you have the power. What's that song? The Bruce Almighty. I've got the power. That's when you have it all, and that's precisely why you want to raise money when you don't need it, because you can go in, lay your giant non-needing money schlong on the table and be like, all right, I could walk out of here at any moment. And again, that's the best time. You're thriving. People want a piece of you. And then the bear market's really hard. But a lot of these companies raised money in a bear market. And they spent that money in a bear market. They did not survive. Again, Artifact, raising that $1 billion was spent on that. Other companies raising tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And they all failed. And a lot of times people were complaining that David was frugal, David was cheap. I understand certain sentiments where like, hey, we understand that people would like to see this quality, of X employee, whatever it is, versus this. But, if we do this and spend this money, it might put us in a situation where we're going to have to raise money. We're going to have to. They really never did. To my knowledge, I don't think they did though. But what does somebody see from that? They see that all of their money that was made in 2021 was really from sales. And how much did they save from that? I'm guessing tens of millions. And they made it through the bear market. Now it's the bull market. They've been doing nothing but hiring. They've been doing nothing but getting even more licenses. And maybe would be really great as they would have some type of signing clause, like just to get on VeVe, we have to charge you X amount of money. Because I mean, to get on here now, it's prestigious to get on here. It's like in Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 1, or is it? I don't think it was. Maybe it was the Half-Blood Prince, whichever one where the Weasley brothers, they open up that Weasley shop and say, "Wow, half was it Godric's Diagon Alley? Like, yeah, half the alley's closed, but they were thriving because they knew what they were about. They knew what people needed." VeVe, on this hand, they're very, very disruptive. They have a bunch of money and they knew how to spend it. They knew how to save it. There's a friend of mine that her and her at the time partner, they had this deal. He would make the money and she would make it last. And that worked for them for a long time. Whose ever job it was to make the money, it was the team's job to make it last. And they did. And now they see that they're spending. Why are they spending? Well, one, the bear market's done. Bull market's here now. And two, it's like you're not going to spend unless you have the money. It's not like they're taking out credit card debts. And again, if they've never raised money, they could raise money at any time. So this is looking really bullish for people that are saying like, okay, they're spending money. They're looks like they're in this growth mode. And we don't know what typically you run into two spots for successful companies. You have either a lot of small deals done really fast, or you have a lot of large deals done really slow. For VeVe, they might have a mix of them. Now, obviously, that sweet spot is doing a lot of large deals really fast. That almost never happens. But they could do stuff, I think, pretty easily. Like something like Blackpink, that was a large deal that happened really slow. For something like, I don't even know what it would be. Like Jurassic Park, same thing. Large deal is done really slow. I imagine stuff with Tokidoki, or I imagine stuff with like Cryptkins. One of the small, designer con artists. A lot of small stuff done really quickly. I don't know what they're doing now. They haven't announced it. But what if they've entered that phase? What if they have done a lot of things now really quickly, now that David's sole focus, he doesn't have to put up fires, doesn't have to do his chores, his sole focus is just going on and getting all of these licenses. I think we might be entering that. Anyway, that's just some speculation. So yeah, you have kind of M. Buchanan says triple top over 0007, but the manipulation never stops. I said, not sure I'd call it manipulation, just someone who wants to sell at that price, and there's not enough volume to get over that price. And again, if I'm somebody that wants to accumulate, and I accumulate, like, okay, I want to accumulate cheap, I don't want to make it go above 0007. I want to buy just enough so that it goes to there and then it gets sold back down. Then I can accumulate more down here. Same thing if you want to sell up there, and then you don't want to let it go down to the fours because you want to sell higher. Anyway, let's go to, I just want to ask you guys a favor. If I can ask y'all to go in and smash that like button, it's a free way to help support the channel, non-free ways of Patreon, thanks, whatnot. And be advised, I am going to get to comments at some point, but if you don't have the patience to wait for me, just give me like a $2 super chat. I'll go and do that really quickly, and then I'll get back to my stuff. Now, where VeVe? Okay, so you have this guy named Anchor Drops that says, "Hey Ledger, tonight I lost 10 Bitcoin and 1.5 million worth of NFTs stored on my Ledger Nano S. The ledger was purchased directly from you. Seed phrase was stored in a secure location. Never entered anywhere online. Never signed any malicious transactions. Everything is in my physical possession. I haven't touched this ledger in 2 months. Can you explain what happened?" Now, I can explain what happened, and Community Notes can explain what happened. This person signed a phishing transaction many moons ago and is now blaming Ledger for his wallet being drained. The Etherscan transaction was below. This person obviously wanted attention, whatever they wanted. I don't know what their goal was, but they got a lot of views on it. Maybe that was the thing. But that does beg the question. That's something, I don't know if that could have happened, but clearly if you sign a malicious link from like years ago or months ago or however long, they could still drain your wallet at any time. So that does bring up the question of, is interoperability the end all be all? I say no. I say that a lot of Web3 purists want that. But you have a bunch of people coming in from Web2 that they're like, dude, I don't, can I just put this in like a bank? Can somebody else do it for me? And that's what VeVe is. VeVe is essentially a bank for your NFTs. And it's like, yeah, we'll hold them for you. There'll be no phishing sites. There'll be no whatever. It's a closed ecosystem. Well, I guess now it's on Stacker, so I guess it's not. But if it's on VeVe, it's safe. And if it's with you, with the person, you can have user error. And if you have that user error, it's possible that you take a look at something that someone sent you, and it's like, oh, what is this? And then suddenly, wallet's drained. And it happened. I guarantee you, it happens to old people. It probably happens to everyone. I guarantee there's something that more than likely than not, old people will be targeted. Also, Mudo time. Very often, tokens lose value due to poor planning, leaving investors exposed to volatility and missed opportunities for growth. Without a sustainable system in place, portfolios risk stagnation or worse, collapse under market pressures. Mudo has your back. With a 10% buyback and burn mechanism, we ensure token value remains strong over time by reducing the supply strategically. Add that to a 10% staking pool that rewards loyal holders in DNA, and you've got a system built for sustainability, growth, and long-term security. Your investments deserve better. Choose a platform that works as hard as you do. Mudo. They sponsor the channel, if that wasn't clear. And they will be on the podcast tomorrow. Can't wait. Binance announced that users deposited $21.6 billion on the platform in 2024. Riot Platforms Inc. acquires 5,117 Bitcoin for $510 million. That is from Reuters. So cute. And they will have some fun stuff to talk about tomorrow. So Austin Rampata. Sorry, I love that song. God. I'm dying. Okay. Oh, we're good. Has that ever happened to y'all during sex? Because I'm not going to lie. Anyway, Austin Rampata, 119,000 followers, going off and saying, who the heck is Devi and how did they pull that off? That's going to be heard all over Web3 and beyond. Devi re-quoting that, saying, who the heck is Devi and how they pull that off? go ahead, and they just repeat the thing. I wanted to go over that for multiple reasons because Devi has not only done a 6x from their bottom, they are, and that's been like the last 3 months. I was talking about that with Rain the other night. Me is my homie channel. I think it is very possible. They're a $90 million market cap right now, 92-ish. A 10x from here, 920 million. Sure. 100x from here, that's a lot. That is 9.2 billion. 100x from here is 9.2 billion. But it's a layer 1 blockchain that has this sharding that they can do 8 million transactions per second. I think it is likely that they get partnered with some really big people, and maybe 100x is small. What if they do 1,000x and get to like a $90 billion market cap? Like Chavez is possible. It's insane. They'd be in like the top 5. Well, they'd definitely be in the top 10, but that's if the top 10 stays the way it is. And obviously we know that it's not. We know that it's going to be much, much higher in the next 6 to 12 months. Not financial advice. Does it do 1,000x from here? Probably not. Can it do like a 500x and get to like a 40-ish billion dollar market cap? Absolutely. Absolutely. They can do that and beyond. Who knows? I really like Devi. They don't sponsor the channel, but I have a bag. So, just throwing that out there. Ooh, I have been talking for 46 minutes, but it's okay. Rockin' Blockchain says PSA for Fishmas, VeVe official. Items 10K is a supply because I need a cap ahead of time for promo codes. Whatever is not assigned by the end will be burnt. The all gone in VeVe is due to promo codes, not because 10K have been redeemed or will exist. Do as you wish. Clever Jerk continues to get the most badass just mints. I don't even know if I can go over this, but he's just my hero. I love him. Anyway, mobile app updates, finally. Mobile app updates. Hi, VeVe fam. Our ongoing updates to our mobile app continue. Our latest update, version 2.0.7, is now available. Latest updates, your search results now click through to market. Fantastic. The listing from My Listings are fixed, and correct items now load in AR, which is great because we had some stuff that was put in AR that we didn't own. And total collectibles and comics in collection are corrected, and other minor fixes and improvements. Shout out to them. Please stay tuned for details of our next app update. So we've had, 4 app updates in like a week and a half. Daily active users in crypto hit a record high of 18.7 million in December, up from 7.7 million in early 2024. So not only is the current people putting in more money, but we've more than doubled in amount of users, which is awesome. And Bit Global sues Coinbase for unfairly delisting WBTC. It's going to be interesting. Buddy of mine loaded the boats at these prices and below. He says it's exactly why he likes to buy on strong projects and when there's generally low sentiment and low prices. Says VeVe's been building for years and are working hard to build out their token more than ever. He personally believes that people will look back at these prices and wonder why they didn't dollar cost average down in these areas. As the great, I forget his name, guy from Wolf of Wall Street says, your only regret is going to be that you didn't buy more. Obviously, I'm quoting that, but that's just our take. He says another thing that helps that he noticed that in crypto, there is often a turn-based narrative where just because a solid project isn't running currently, it often indicates more about the timing than it does about the project failing. Even in a true parabolic run, even some of the worst projects will oftentimes still run hard. Recognizing this helps me take profits when projects are up and put them directly into solid projects that are still down. It multiplies my gains. Speaking of which, I might get some more OMI soon. I don't know how much I might get. Maybe a little small, maybe a little stuff. Maybe a little more. We'll see. Let me see what we have going on over on X real quick because I was told to take a look. I don't know I don't even know if this person's blocked. This person's probably blocked. More Oh, damn. Look at that. I don't interact with this person. I don't follow this person. Yeah, Cavell Anderson is still talking about me. Oh, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on. There I am. What's it like to have me live rent free in your head when I don't even pay attention to you? Shout out to somebody else for talking to me about that. That was fun. Anywho, let's go to VeVe Comics and saying, "Oh snap, it's Friday the 13th." I'm very salty about this. I did not go in and I did not interact with this. I was very salty because I go out and post earlier today. Hey, WB Pictures, it'd be really nice if you could release Jason as a digital collectible on VeVe. Like really nice for days like today that come around a couple times a year. VeVe Official and the fam would love to have him. But I love Friday the 13th. Oftentimes, I would watch movies in my youth relating to this. Obviously, Jason Voorhees movies. Um, we have monsters, or we have WB, we have Universal, we have all these things. Can we get monsters, please? WB, you are dropping the ball. You literally have a bunch of us wanting to throw money at you. Do you not like money? I feel like Adam Sandler talking to his golf ball. Like, are you too good for your hole? Like, is our money not good enough? WB, what are you doing there? What are you doing here? You are clearly dropping the ball on this, in my opinion. But VeVe Comics had said they're doing their best to try to get them. VeVe Official had commented on that as well. VeVe Official says on Christmas in New Zealand means gathering loved ones, embracing local traditions, and creating memories that last a lifetime. Kiwi Christmas, so they have a Christmas Merry Kiramete on the one that I might get is a little doggy. They had that on the other, I think on the other stamps. They had it was like love or whatever, and one of them was a dog. I thought that was cool. I don't really like kids, so I'm not going to get any of those. But I love doggos, so I am going to get the one with the doggo. Thought that was really cool. Oh, and I guess there's a little like raccoon kitten. Looks like a little centret or a ferret. You ever like Pokemon? Oh, that'd be great. Uh, Dude, could you imagine if the U.S. annexes part of Canada? That would be, oh my God, that'd be incredible. Anyway, moving on. Jumanji, wow, Jumanji game board sold for $275,000. That is bananas. And Wilson from Castaway sold for $162,500. That is insane. Malcolm in the Middle returns with 4 brand new episodes on Disney Plus. What? You heard me correct. Disney Plus says we're back. Malcolm in the Middle returns with 4 brand new episodes. Insane. Mr. Ben Rose has just picked up this guy from Matt Gone Deck on the VeVe official market. Will go nicely alongside my collectibles from On English Art, the Nina Palomba, and Jason Naylor NYC. And it is the one where it's like Homer Simpson as like a donut. He's like made of donut. Looks like somebody Gus Fringed him there over on the left-hand side, right-hand side. VeVe Viral says VeVe is becoming for digital artists what Netflix is for stand-up comedians, and I got to agree. Got to agree. Excuse me. I think I cut my lip on that, but it is fine. It is fine. Talking about that, yeah. It says, what would Jason snap away? He would likely snap away Freddy Krueger in the Freddy vs. Jason movie. Dude, that was so good. When he was fighting him. So they were having just Jason with the gauntlet there. Thought that was fun. Yeah, went over viral stuff. Clayface. Okay, so Comics and Crypto says triple Sabretooth bounty. We are putting a bounty out on all 3 Sabretooth variants. Mint number 1997, which is the publishing year of the first appearance comic, for the upcoming drop on VeVe Official. 500 for the common Sabretooth 1977, 1,000 for the uncommon 1977, and 1,500 for the Sabretooth rare 1977. Best of luck to everyone. I have to go on and tell you a story, and then I will get into the comments. I was scammed by a little girl selling Mrs. Fields cookies. She wasn't just selling Mrs. Fields cookies. It was like Halloween or something. It was around that time. Answer the door. Little girl knocks on. She's like, "Hey, I'm raising money for like a school trip or what." I assume it was a school trip. And she's just like, "Do you want to buy cookies?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do want to buy cookies." So I look in her little magazine calendar thing, and I was like, "There's nothing in here I want." Like, but I'm like committed to buy some. Mrs. Fields cookies. Yeah, Mrs. Fields. Yeah, let me get 2 boxes. We got 2 boxes for like $50. I forgot about them. I straight up forgot about them. I was just like, you know what? I didn't know they were coming. Knock at the door today. Little girl with 2 Mrs. Fields cookies boxes. I was like, and then I was like, oh my god, the cookies! Like, oh my god, this is great. And she hands it to me, and they're all like frozen. Like, I know it's cold outside, but they're heavy, and like the boxes are cold. And I look at them, and it says "keep frozen." And I was like, I didn't know you had to like cook these yourselves. I didn't know you had to like there was manual labor involved. Like, I just wanted to open a package and eat my cookies. Which granted, I did. I ate the raw cookie dough, like one raw cookie dough, and I was feeling not okay for a little while. The heartburn was horrendous. But anyway, that is my story on how I got scammed by a little girl who I thought was my friend and I thought was going to sell me actual cookies, and she did not. Anywho, let's get to the comments over here. Wes saying, "Is the lawsuit over?" I have no idea. Somebody on X said it was, but that person tends to not be truthful on like anything, so I don't know. Connor, give me those dabs. What up, Connor? Edson Cristobal says, "OMI to 001 by Christmas or end of year 2024." All right, so that's a question. So that question mark, you're asking me if it's going to be that? Dude, I have no idea. I mean, I think we get that sometime in Q1, definitely in the double zeros by Q2, in my opinion. And dude, I mean, you could have the Santa rally that could happen, and with that, you could have stuff run. It does look like the NFT narrative again. The first week of December, hit $187 million being transacted in NFTs. So clearly, it's slowly coming. Like Pudgy Penguins, like there's more for a Pudgy Penguin than it is for a whole ass Bitcoin. Do what you will with that information. I do not believe that. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. If I had to put any amount of money on it, I'd bet $1 that maybe we would not be 001 by that point. I'd say that would probably be, am I Bane in Dark Knight Rises? Because that part comes later. And I don't know if that would really happen right now. Oh, hey, meow, 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 meow. What's up, Ben Rose? Meri Kirihimite. I don't know. I feel like that one dude on ESPN trying to pronounce Tenshin Han and Yamcha, and he just can't. I can't. But Meri Kirihimite to you as well, Mr. Rose. Eddie Almeida says, "Enjoying the pump, Wes?" Well, let's see where we're at now. Meow, meow, Randy. That was actually from a song. Finally done. Oh, who is this? All right, sorry. I have. Oh my God, this is so stupid. Sometimes, for a new phone, this is like this does not give me confidence in the way some technology is going. Okay, anyway, actually up only 8% all day. So we are back down 0.0063. Like I said, this happens. The range is you get up to that 0.007 ish, and then you go back down 0.005s. Now you could say like, well, Chavez, well, if that's the pattern, shouldn't I be selling here and then rebuying again at 0.005 ish, 5.5? Like, if you want to, but the reason why I'm not doing that, despite this being the 4th time that it's happening, the reason why I'm not doing that is because at some point it's just going to take off and never come back. That could be months from now, or it could be next week. We have no idea. We could go below to the 0.003s again. I have no idea. I don't want to get cute and try to trade. That's just not what I do. But anyone else that wants to try, by all means, be my guest. Andrea Sime saying, "Pump and dump the same 3 or 4 wallets every day. You cannot tell which wallets they are. Please do not spread misinformation." Bill Gardner saying, "Let's go." What up, Bill Gardner? How's it going, man? Meow. Let's see what we got here. Oh God, where'd we go? Vladimir Columbus says, "Randy, what the heck happened with Gadenzi? I asked Dr. stuff. He never replied to me." I don't know. I mean, they're in the lawsuit now. Supposedly it's over, but again, there's no real proof of that. It's just someone here, like there might be somewhere, but definitely not. If anything was reported on that, I'd know about it, just because I would. But I have no idea what happened. I don't know idea if it was good, if it was bad. They're keeping us very in the dark. Question number 2: who's pumping and dumping OMI? So I went over this like an hour ago, but I'll kind of recast it here. We're not sure. It could be one whale, it could be a number of whales. It could, on a very unlikely scenario, it could be a bot just to get us, volume. There's no way it's a bot, but greater than 0% chance, I guess. Love you, bro. Thanks all for the answers. Thank you. But yeah, I have no idea. Again, I don't think this is based on any particular data point, because anyone that's just looking to trade, that there hasn't been any of these like announcements. For people that just kind of keep their finger on the pulse, you have to really look closely, and then it's understandable that people every now and then, like, yeah, we got another $1 million, let's go, let's buy. Because again, for people that are looking closely, you have people like, you have these events that are happening. Okay, they're hiring a whole bunch of marketing teams. Ben has said his goals for increasing VeVe users, and then you have Randy Chavez's interpretation of that, of those numbers, what he thinks will happen. For people that look at this, like really look at it, it would make sense if it's them. It could just be people trying to swing trade. Dude, I don't know. It's anybody's guess. VeVe Zombie says, yo, what up, Zombie? Mo Collection says, yo, meow, meow, meow. Ace Rig Move says, significant price movements can attract attention from traders and investors, potentially increasing the token visibility. Good for market attention. That's also true. You do have these people that, which again, I don't know if you have OKX, you have Gate.io, you have a couple of these exchanges that are bigger, and MEXC, I think, has futures, and so does KCEX that has futures trading as well. So maybe they could do it with that and leverage their OMI and their investments. But unless you're on really big exchanges, a lot of traders are just they're not really going to bother. But again, if you're not in America and you have or even if you have a VPN, whatever, you have OKX, you have Gate.io, you have a couple of these things, like, okay, yeah, they could do that, and maybe that's them. Maybe they're just swing trading, and maybe they're just getting a fudge ton of OMI. Muggle Legends is last chance before 001. It might be. I mean, again, we've been doing so. Let me show you something here. That's gonna give you a little bit of a pause, I think. Live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause. So the last 3 months, this particular token has gone from 3 cents to 6 cents, give or take. And even over the last year, in January of 2022, we're at 2.8 cents. And it's been kind of this way for like a couple of years, and they haven't broken out of that yet. And that is Definity. Now, obviously, OMI, when you take a look at that, it is, again, the last several months before this last week, we were in the 0003s and 0002s. But we're at 0008. I think that's January of 2022. Yeah, that was January of 2022. We were actually at, oh no, I'm sorry, that was like December 22. We were at 0011 in June of 22. Actually, we were actually at 0011 in like June of 21, when we had gone down, and then we'd had that parabolic rise back up again. We've just been here for so long, and maybe I'm a victim of what Rain says is recency bias. We've just been here for so long that I'll believe it when I see it. Now, obviously, I know that's going to come eventually. My timeline is still in Q1 for that. And again, I would say originally, a couple weeks ago, I was saying that by Q2 is likely when we'll see that move, because all of the stuff from marketing, I would say, would have rolled out by then. But I believe now that in late Q1 we have it. But again, we don't need something to roll out. Like, we're going to have VeVeVerse that rolls out in Q1. We're going to have Stacker that rolls out in Q1. That's fine. But those might be moot points. Because again, if Stacker rolls out and you can't buy Marvel and Disney stuff with it, I don't know if that might actually be a net negative. And again, I'm not trying to be like a Debbie Downer here. I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to give the perspective of like, hey, I want this to moon more than anyone. After I pack my bags, of course, but it's just that again, it might not have. I think it eventually will. My original thing was Q2. Now I think end of Q1, where we're definitely going to be in the 0.0, 2s, 3s, whatever. But again, when that narrative hits, we'll be at like a couple pennies, in my opinion. I don't know when that last chance is. We can continue to trade here for the next several months. It might not be till the end of Q1, and then we get. And again, even when certain things happen, again, take it back to 2020, and the app rolled out finally after like years, and the token didn't move at all. It happened like months later. Months later, it finally moved. So just because something bullish happened. Now, obviously, there's a lot more eyes on the project now. But yeah, that's kind of my opinion. But yeah, you're right. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. We could have this major pump. The people at 0007 decide like, they run out of tokens. They're not going to sell anymore. And like, yeah, you know what? This is fine. And then we blow through it. Matt John says, Randy, my guy, what up? Thank you for being a member of the channel. And Robinson says, 001 feels like a distant dream. You can hold 001. A lot of people would jump back in, which is crazy because they're not buying at 0003, but they'll buy at 0011. It's just, but I get it. You want to wait for that confirmation for us to move up, but yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, it's just bananas that people don't buy the bottom. It says former VeVe YouTuber said in his recent video, "There's a whale who keeps dumping OMI whenever it pumps." It clearly like it looks like that. Vladimir Colombo says volume keeps climbing higher. It does. It does. So that is one of the good things. Like you do have that volume. Okay, we'll put all out there. And before it's too late. On the numbers. Awesome. Thank you. Sweet. Yeah, so I like that about the volume because that'll help other exchanges be like, oh, hey, wait a minute. 4 million in volume, not bad. Not bad at all. But again, where does this volume come from? Like it's OKX and Gate.io, and maybe they'll want to. Yeah, there's like 2.9 million just from them alone. Yeah. It'll siphon off some volume from there, maybe. We'll see. Async was as crypto sentiment remains strong and VeVe continues to innovate and attract users, OMI could indeed ride the wave of incoming new money and broader market enthusiasm. Yeah. The amount of money going into crypto is bananas, like never been seen before. And when we're not anywhere close to the blow off top. Guys, Bitcoin is likely going to go to, I'm going to say minimum 150,000, but I think that's pretty conservative. I would say 250. Now, granted, you have Charles Hoskinson, older, smarter, more experienced than I am, was never given a Bitcoin price prediction up until like the week of Thanksgiving, and he's just like, yeah, we're likely going to be $250,000 to $500,000 per Bitcoin within 2 years. And again, blow off top. That blow off top would be, I don't know, next year. Now you have the super cycle. Now Rain and Cosmo and a couple of others says like, well, super cycle to them doesn't necessarily mean that it's just going to go for like 4 years. It just means that it's going to have an incredible blow off top. So let's go with theirs, like an incredible blow off top in the same timeline, in that same 2 years of bull market, which would be middle of next year. So if that were to happen, Bitcoin doing a 2.5x from here, 3x from here, 4x from here, 5x from here, like in Charles Hoskinson's range, happens by next. That's, I don't know. But 2.5x. Let's say it gets to 250. The bottom of what he expects, the top of what I expect. The alt run is like, have you guys ever seen those guys that lift? They have maybe a little bit of dad bods, but they're jacked, they're lift, and when they say like they're going to cut, and then the comments are just like, this cut is going to be diabolical. If we get that 250K Bitcoin, do you know what's going to happen to a bunch of these alts? Nothing is going to make sense. Any of our predictions of what we thought certain things could get to will go out the window, and it's going to, like I said, be diabolical. So agreed that as long as VeVe remains relevant, again, not like in the broader crypto market relevant, but obviously in NFTs, they're the platform, and the token does not reflect that yet. It will, just not yet. And again, once we get labeled as a Metaverse token, I don't know if it comes out in whenever the VeVeverse rolls out in Q1, or if they have to wait until like some type of game or whatever is confirmed. But you have that's going to happen. And then anytime somebody searches Metaverse token on CoinMarketCap, they're going to find OMI. And people are not going to know what OMI is. I was like, okay, yeah, buying all these Metaverse tokens. I'm going to buy every single one of them. And then they're just going to buy them from that. And then as OMI, because again, newer people, they're going to be like, okay, OMI just did like this 6x out of nowhere. Time to sell everything else and put it into OMI, because that's what people do. They sell what's not performing to put it into something that is performing instead of doing the opposite. So, and again, a lot of this is really without, and again, evolvables. You've had burning stuff before, but this type of burning, it's just different. Now you have MCP involved, and it's just, again, when you say to innovate, it's really cool. It's really cool what they're doing. And yeah, if they innovate and they attract more users like Ben and everyone plans to, OMI could go nuts. Now, as we move to 103 tonight, I go, oh, let's see. Let's see what you've got. What was that? It was a Star Fox quote. Well, it's 101.8. We were at 102 before. We were at 102.5. We were close. We were very close. Matt Johnson, thank you for being a member, saying, I pulled the trigger and got secret rare Stan Lee. Got the set now. I love this game. It's a nice hot chocolate, but my throat still hurts. Ben Robinson says, Wes saw that YouTube video as well. What YouTube video was it? Vegan things. Meow. What up, vegan things? Oh yeah, so I guess speaking of OMI, there's this guy, I don't know his name. It's something John Cat, something Cat cryptotherapy. I don't have it. I don't know. Is it in my recently searched? Oh yeah, Crypto Cat Guru. Crypto Cat Guru says Ecomi token explained 1400% potential. That's really like a 14x. So I'm gonna say that is a lot higher than that potential. What he's talking about, but it's my opinion. Slider. Oh, first off, Slider saying, I think it's interesting that an affiliate program is starting soon. Now it seems we're getting big spikes out of the blue. I think it might be bigger new YouTubers getting some OMI before videos. That's possible. Yeah, I would say that's possible. I have no idea who they're talking to. Well, I'll say I have no idea who they're talking to outside of VeVe. I'll tell you, I've had a meeting with them. There's probably others you might be able to guess that have had a meeting with them. But as far as other people outside of the community, I have no idea. I hadn't thought of that. I gotta take a picture of that and then bring it up on Sunday's birthday stream. I hope you guys will join me on my birthday stream from 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to midnight on the 15th. I'm gonna be 34. Mid-30s. Scary. 3GP Garage saying, the real Randy Chavez, been holding for almost 4 years. There is no movement on this token or any indication from the team, only will get attention going to consider swapping out? Well, depending on how much you have, let me know. I'll buy it from you. I mean, if you're seeing like the volume now, right? I know maybe haven't. Maybe you're just like, you know what? I come in, check on your streams every now and then just to support, and I haven't really checked. Like, watch this entire video, and you watch it at like 4 times speed. I don't know if YouTube does that. And then consider if you're going to still swap out or not. If you're still considering swapping out, sell me all your tokens. If you are not, if you're not, I don't think you will. Boo was saying last time I bought OMI, it was 00026. Can I officially say I bought the bot? I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. That sounds like, yeah. That sounds like you would have bought the bottom there. But who knows? Pink Bear says, Wes, did the YouTuber name the whale? If he has, I think he's just making it up. Ben Robbins says, no, he didn't name the whale. Meow, meow. Felipe B says, how painful is it to pay 15K for losing bets? Must be frustrating, but if anyone's saying positive, it's you. I like your optimism and keep passion for OMI and VeVe. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I mean, you'd obviously rather have 15K in gains as opposed to 15K, going out. But it is what it is. I made those predictions based on what I thought VeVe was doing or what VeVe said they were going to do. Didn't happen. But again, as long as the thesis of the company hasn't changed, which it hasn't, well, it has, but it's gotten better. And the end result is still the same. The end result is going to be, it doing whatever it does, or I think we get multiple cents. Yeah. As Barry says, you think the bear market is starting sooner than we all think? NATO leader warning the whole EU for their safety against Russia and China, cyber attacks and war, Musk scaring people for drone attacks. I do have to go over the drone attacks. I might save that for Sunday. But no, I mean, you have people that might think like, oh, bear markets, bull market's almost over, Bitcoin topped out, it's going to be all season, then it's over. I think they're completely wrong. Trump hasn't even taken office yet. In my opinion, the bear market is nowhere near where we are. I don't think we get a bear market till 2026. I could be wrong, but I am putting my money where my mouth is. Cardinal Goat Player says, good evening, Senor Chavi Cat. Pounding this Wawa meatball sandwich. Oh, I miss Wawa. And watching the stream because it brings me peace. Cheers, mate. Dude, Wawa was heaven when I was in McGuire Air Force Base. It was heaven. It's great. Chuck and Hank says, good evening, Randy. Meow, meow, meow. What's up, Chuck and Hank? Hope you're doing well. Omicron says, hey, fams. Meow. Chuck and Hank, the app is still slow. Hope they improve that soon. Agreed. And the app is slow when there's like not a lot of people here. What's it going to be like when we have 50,000 people? I don't know. I shudder to think, but it's a good problem to have, right? Ryan Mark says, hello, old friend. Hope all is well. What is your profile picture? Is that a nebula? Is that I don't know what that is, but it's a thing. Pink Panther says, if I had information about a whale dumping, his mugshot would be on X. I'll explain to the community, is he running a scam, part of something illegal? I mean, if somebody wants to get out, I'd rather them dump at 0007 as opposed to dumping at 007 because we get them out early and they don't get as much money. So I don't. Again, you can sell your tokens whenever you want. Is he running a scam or part of something illegal? I don't know. I mean, I guess anyone could be, but I think just because you're dumping, I don't think necessarily means that you're running a scam or doing something illegal. Could they be? Again, sure, but I don't. That wasn't really on my radar. Nothing's really been going off about that, but maybe, who knows? There's they need to deliver now for Q1. Q2 is too late. Bull run will be over. I don't think the bull run's over in Q2. Guys, I'll let you know. I don't think anything's happening by the end of the year because it's the holidays. Typically for these, unless you're like an American company that doesn't care about their employees, like, no, you need to go out, you need to get this done now. I think they treat their employees fairly well. And they're probably going to let them take a chill pill for a couple weeks, and they're probably going to let them, be with their families and stuff. So I don't think anything's happening at the end of the year. I do think stuff will happen in Q1. You have VeVeverse, you have Stacker rollout, maybe a new IP. But I think an exchange by the end of Q1. I think we get that. I think those, I guess, 4 things. What would I say they were? Stacker, VeVeverse, new IP, and an exchange. I think that'll all be in Q1. And does any of that happen in January? Maybe one thing. Maybe one thing happens in February. Maybe 2 things happen in February. One thing happens in March, and then maybe in Q2 they roll out some VeVe affiliate stuff and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say Q1 they're probably going to deliver a couple things. Now, again, it's VeVe. You might have to go by developer, drug dealer time, whatever you want to call it, and maybe say, well, we're going to roll out 2 things in Q1, but we're going to roll out like 4 things in Q2. Again, I don't think Q2 the bull run is over. I don't think the bull run is over until at least late next year, if not 2026. Again, the last bull market was still going, and then Russia invaded Ukraine. If Russia hadn't invaded Ukraine, we would have likely still gone for a little while. Smoke Legend says, bye-bye Bitcoin. Was that going to the... I don't think it was. Maybe it was an hour ago. I don't know. Bum, 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 I got you, babe. Bum, 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 bum. I got you, babe. Ew. Sorry. DN809 says, let's say disappointment, say Q4 2025. I don't... Oh, for them rolling out stuff? Ha, you're funny. It says, conspiracy is legal if a person or a group are working together to damage a company. Agreed. I don't know if dumping... I don't want to say dump, like if selling your tokens are intentionally trying to damage a company. Now, if they are, and they're saying, hey, let's heck this company by constantly dumping at 0007, buying back at 0005, and then constantly dumping again, like, sure. If they're doing that with the intention to hurt the company, yeah. Can you prove that beyond a reasonable doubt? I would not take that case. That was Castiel somehow fell asleep. Oh, Cass, little baby puppy. I got you, babe. Vegan Thing says, Rip VeVe Knight. He was one of us. Edson Cristobal. Yeah. John Air Max RP saying, hey, Randy, the cat holder, what's up? Oh, the cat in the house. Gotta love it. Yeah, gotta love the cat. Wrote a little bit more of the comic today. VeVe Zombies F. John, I love the cat. We all love the cat. Everybody wants to be a cat. Remember that song from Aristocats? Everybody wants to be a cat. Mo Collection says development is happening. We just need users. Agreed. Ken O says, Randy, do you hold Fias 2 or just Devi? Curious what we'll do with the new token launches. I did have a little Fias. Then they had something with like a hack. I know there's a new launch that they're doing now. I don't know what that's going to be like. What a terrible year for Nintendo's marketing department. As Diddy and Luigi. It's great. But I haven't gotten the new token yet, the Fias token. And then someone can. I don't even know if they're... It's contract address here. Fias token swap. Update. By Zokyo available. The new token contract was successfully audited. Okay, token claims. Oh, they'll only be open until literally... All right, the claim form's open on the 9th. The initial distribution will be on the 16th. That's Monday. The 23rd is the final distribution. The forms close. So we do have to... Yeah, okay, we have to take a look at that. And then after that, we'll be able to buy. Mexi will not support the swap. I might do that on a video on Monday. Or Sunday, sorry. In my live stream. Cool Mo, thank you for being a member. Says, gotta applaud the team. These past updates are a great step. Just get load times, and we are getting close. Agreed. Agreed. Can't wait for those load times. Mo Collection says, Randy Cavell talking trash about VeVe YouTubers on X right now. If you look at his videos that aren't about VeVe, they don't really get a lot of views. I think the only real way for him to stay relevant is to talk about VeVe. And again, like he's very good at it. I did my part, heard you talk about, so what did I do? I showed him before saying like, hey, guess the only way to stay relevant is by bashing me. And again, I've never had anyone bash me that I'd rather trade places with. What I mean by that is like, let's say you have Mr. Cup and Mr. Shaker Bottle, and Mr. Cup being like an infinite amount smaller, more flimsier, and having like no liquid in it is going to make fun of the bigger cup, the Shaker Bottle, for whatever reason. Like, do you think the Shaker Bottle is going to want to trade places with a cup? No. Why? Because the cup is smaller, has nothing inside it, and nobody loves it. So anyway, Travis Gregory says, ha 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 ha. Vegan Thing says, what up, Randy? Yo, what up? What up, Vegan? What up? Travis Gregory says he's a fodder for OMI. He's a fodder for everything. Vegan Thing says, dude, a Jason Voorhees Mighty would be legit. I would eat that up. Oh, God, I would eat that up. I love that. Mr. Ben Rose and Meri Kiramite. Meri Kiramite. Dinamite. If anyone's ever played, oh my God. Oh my God. Oof. Oof. Sorry, I had to. Oof. Big oof. I'll definitely like it. I forget what I was. Oh yeah, Ben. If you ever played Worms, on Xbox Arcade, when they have like the dynamite, they say Dinamite. That sounds like Kiramite. Anyway, O'Milly teases, hey fam, everyone have a dope ass weekend. Thank you, O'Milly. I will have a dope ass weekend. I will have a lot of fun, especially Sunday, because it's my birthday. Birthday. Vegan Things. Nerdy Stoner says OMI dropped the ball. Well, I mean, OMI is just an inanimate crypto, but you could make the argument that some things that were not done or were done incorrectly by other people made it so that OMI didn't go up. You could say that, but OMI itself it's just OMI. Ray Diaz Lingo. Is that a Pudgy Penguin? Saying, did you really say OMI 001 for the end of the year? That's a dead raffle. I mean, it's not a far cry. I mean, we've doubled before. We can double again. It gets pretty close, and once it breaks out, you kind of get into that price discovery mode. So it's really not outside the realm of possibility, or to say like, oh yeah, it's I'm dead. I mean, it's really close to it now anyway. Meow nasty Ben. Meow 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 meow. Omar Kasaja says, good evening. Good evening, Omar. Yeah. Air Blue says 004 by the end of January 2025. Taken out a long, hoping the bottom is. I'm pretty sure the bottom is in. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go back to. We'll likely go back to 0005s. And again, last time it was pretty close to breaking down back into the fours. We're at 00051, and again, we've spent a lot more time at 0002, 0003 level, as opposed to 0005 the last few months. The 0005 level has really just been the last week. Like that's it. So the likelihood of going down that now, if you talk to Rain had someone on his channel on Monday saying that, hey, it seems that we have achieved this bottom, we're in a good trajectory. But the guy, Paul from Definity, says that what's to be wary of is normally when you consolidate, it usually gets like these things and then it'll break up or down. But here it's been like 0005 to 0007, and it keeps on going like really, really volatilely in an insanely volatile way. And it says that is something to be wary of. But I do think that bottom is in. And I mean, yeah, if we could break past that 00, well, one, we have to break past 0007. Then that 001 does become that little psychological barrier, or it doesn't. We just blow right past it. We did that last year when they announced kind of like OMI utility stuff. It went to like 0014 or one something, and then it went back down. I mean, the bottoms are, but yeah, if we go past that, and again, if we hit this narrative and they announce stuff, dude. I mean, for all we know, they could announce Dragon Ball Z. They could announce Pokemon. They could announce Harry Potter. They could announce what's another big IP that Hello Kitty. They could announce Yu-Gi-Oh. They could announce. I mean, that's it, right? Like they could announce that they're having DC Comics come onto the platform and do it the same way that Marvel did. They could announce Taco Bell. They could announce they have a college football program stuff going. They could announce whatever they want, and we could go absolutely crazy. The odds of any of those things happening, again, you have in Q1 and generally, I will take your price prediction, but I would say by the end of Q1, not the end of January, just because that's what, yeah. But again, that's my prediction. Crazy Dan 420, thank you for being a member, says howdy world. Howdy. Hold or axis OMI still so far from all-time high. Well, we're kind of in the early bull markets and the NFT narrative has not hit yet. So I wouldn't expect it to be anywhere near all-time highs. I would expect it to be in the early double zeros, 002, 003, once we get some stuff rolled out. As long as they're rolled out on time, then I say we do well. But it's tech. A lot of things that I said that would happen in Q1, it's a decent chance that only half of them happen. Maybe Stacker rolls out and that's it. Maybe VeVe rolls out and that's it. Maybe Stacker has to wait till February, March. Maybe VeVe has to wait till February, March. Maybe the affiliate program doesn't happen in Q1. Maybe my original prediction was right and they start to roll out stuff in Q2 and then Q3. So we're just not sure. Maybe there's no, dude. If there's no exchanges, like, so I've said this before, but I had to explain the reason later. But if there's no exchanges by the end of Q1, OMI's still down at this price, I will sell 90% of my collectibles for OMI. Because if we don't have exchanges by the end of Q1, we're going to get them sometime. Well, but when are we going to get them? I don't know. If the price is still down here at that point, I'll sell 90% of my collectibles for OMI. And because again, that is going to happen at some point. Could I be wrong? Sure. Maybe they're done. We had 2 new ones, like technically 5 new ones this year. But 2 of them were planned. The other 3 were just renegade listings. Maybe there's no new exchanges planned by VeVe and OMI. Maybe it's just, hey, renegade lists and that's it. Either way, I don't think it'll really matter because people that want to buy the token are going to get the token. If they're technologically inept, then they could just go to somebody that is technologically advanced or at least they know how to buy the token and they'll do it for them. It happened last bull market, happened even this bear market. It'll happen again. And again, they could get some awesome exchanges and they might not be US exchanges. In which case, again, Joe Sixpack cannot buy the token. They will contact somebody that they know, likely me, and be like, hey, can you buy it for me? Sure, I'll do it again. I've done this for so many people. But yeah, at some point it will get to all-time highs and it'll go above. I think it'll get to all-time highs and go above that, well above that. But it's anyone's guess. Crazy Dan for Toys. Alex Joe says the drones are Space Force. He is usually correct. Oh my God, my back. Oh, my back hurts. I'm just gonna get my jacket off here because I'm a little hot. Yeah, Alex Jones is typically correct on a lot of these things. Is he correct on this one? I don't know. I'll tell you this. I posted about it yesterday, and I was like, what is this? I don't know where this is. I was immediately community noted, and the community note says this is actually filmed from McGuire Air Force Base. They're doing training there. Now, when I was at that base, there was no drones there. I won't say which part, but drones were specific. The drone program was specifically operated out of somewhere that was not New Jersey. And again, and even up through like the last couple years, like one of my friends would have told me. Nobody said, and again, confirmed it with them. Like, yeah, no, to their knowledge, that are still there, that there's no drone program there. McGuire Air Force Base. It was cargo planes. Again, I worked at that base, and I didn't just like work at the base. I was stationed legit in a unit that worked with and around the aircraft that we did have at that base. I don't even know. You can see them on the air shows. I don't even know if I'm allowed to. I'll say this: they were not drones. They were larger aircraft than drones. And well, I guess I could say what I did. They were cargo planes. And the cargo planes were, well, you could just take a look at, okay, well, cargo planes are C-130s or C-17s or KC-10s or C-5s. Absolutely correct. Maybe every now and then you get a Cessna. Actually, the Air Force One would come in there every now and then. Whenever President Obama would have a meeting, and I imagine President Trump as well, would have a meeting at the United Nations in New York. They can't just fly into like a normal airport. They fly into an Air Force base. So they flew into an Air Force base. That was McGuire Air Force Base. Good times. I wish I had pictures, but no phones are allowed on the flight line, unfortunately. Anyway, Obama's very tall. Anyway, when they fly in there, then they take a chopper out, and then they take a chopper to New York City, and that's how they do it. But again, that community notes was wrong. That was a false community notes, because there's no way that was out of McGuire Air Force Base, and there's no way that community notes was gone this morning when I got up. So I was like, okay, what's going on? And then like a thing from Joe Biden. Let's see if I don't even know where I would post this, or if I have it in here. I might have it in my. I don't even think I do. Let's see here. Yeah, so it was President Biden says it has come to my attention that the New Jersey drone incursions, let's call them incursions like it's freaking Secret Wars, they have been in operation by the Iranian government to undermine the national security of the United States of America. I urge you to act swiftly. I will bet however much money you want that this was not Iran. Bayaku says, "What's up, Randy? Check out $Luby, meme coin bad boy on Solana. 100x jam by I am Stephen Bliss, OG GTA Rockstar, former senior artist. Luby on Sol, Luby. Okay, all right. Let's get this, bread. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to Luby. I put in Looney by accident. All right, Luby. Luby by Stephen Bliss. That's it, right? Yep. Well, that is up 55% on the day. I have to sneeze. Hang on. If I don't. Oh my God. I'm back. Okay. Okay, we're good. So Luby on Sol. It is 25 days old. They have 2,700 holders. Okay. 186,000 liquidity is locked. 94,000 in volume on the day. $1.17 million market cap. Not bad, kid. Okay, so here what it started at, and then what it's gone to. What it's gone to is right there. So it did have a bit of a rise up to like a $4 million market cap. It wicked up past the $4 million market cap, and now it's down to like 1.17. Fully diluted is 1.22. Let's go to the secured. Ooh, okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Show more. Bundle by fresh wallets 70. Well, it makes sense. They're 25 days old. Liquidity lock, yes. I mean, it's really not that bad. GT score analysis is 38 out of 100, but I don't know who these people are. Well, I mean, like you said, I'm Stephen Bliss, OG GTA Rockstar, former senior artist. So if that's really him, let's see if he has an X account. Stephen Bliss. I am Stephen Bliss. Okay. He's actually on he's on a Spaces right now. And let's see if he's talked about the token at all. Or is it Rockstar loose, deny, defend? Oh my God, he did the deny, defend, oppose. Oh my God. Look at her butt. I mean, whew, all right. Now, obviously, that deny, defend, oppose is by that Luigi guy, and that's interesting. It's posting a lot about it. Maybe I could, if you have a contact with him, tell Stephen Bliss to go contact me, and I'll see if I can maybe get him on the podcast. We'll talk, obviously, beforehand. You send him. Oh, birthday love. The parents. Okay, hold on. Collecting taxes than we do with an army. Great question. Great question. So yeah, and then maybe if I like him, I'll see if I can get him on. Where was I? Yeah, so I would like to think that it could be the Space Force, sure. To my knowledge, I don't think the Space Force was on Macquarie. Maybe they are. Maybe they have a unit in there that just operates independently. But it's just very strange on what these things are. Well, they can't. I don't think they're Iran at all. But we'll see. I mean, drones that's kind of next evolution of war. They can pack a punch, and they're very hard to shoot down. More on that on Sunday. Joe Monocle says, haven't been around since 2021. Assume it's probably better investing in OMI over specific VeVe NFTs? ? I mean, as a non-active user, it would be hard hitting the home runs? ? Can you discuss pros and cons? Yeah. So there is going to be a chance for arbitrage. There already has been. The things that'll from here and through one calendar year from now, your best bets are partner statue, the gold and silver VeVe logo, secret rare Spider-Man, secret rare Miles, Todd McFarlane Batman, Eddie Riso Batman. I said partner statue, right? Superman. So there's 7. Trying to think, there's definitely others that I'm just not thinking. Lucky Rosso gold logo, the David Yu blue, secret rare blue. There's no shortage of things on VeVe that will do incredible gains. Partner statue could do like a 40x and get it to like $80,000. Now, granted, you have to pay 8.5% fees, and that's before the cash out fee, unless you sell it for OMI, in which case you get rid of that cash out fee completely. Cash out fee is 10%. So you could wind up paying like 18.5% on that. That is nuts. But if you sell it for OMI, then obviously you get a little bit of a break because it's only 8.5% fees. Now, Todd McFarlane I actually like better than partner statue because it's only a 2.5% fee as opposed to 8.5%, which is a lot. Now, do I think the Todd will outperform? Well, I'll put it this way. I don't think the Todd's going to be $100,000. But can the Todd be $20,000? Sure. Which I think from here it's like $600. So that it's like a 30x. I don't think you can go wrong with Todd. I don't think you can go wrong with a lot of these things. But I also think the OMI token does like an 80 to 120x from here. They bring it up to like 5, 6 cents, whatever. Hang on 1 second. I have to answer this freaking thing. I'm working. Haven't received a card yet. Haven't been around since 20. Yeah. So, but if you want like the safety of it, get those things. They're safer quotes. But obviously that's up to you. None of this is advice. But I think OMI goes and outperforms pretty much everything. Is there going to be like the one or two things that, oh, nobody saw this coming, and it goes absolutely nuts. Sure. Because again, you can get specific items, like I mean specific mint numbers, where you go in and say like, you get this mint for whatever reason super popular, like, and somebody just goes and says like, hey, I know you spent $50 on that, I'll give you $5,000 for it. And I was like, okay, and that's 100x. And if only does an 80x, then you outperform. Like, there's going to be cases like that, but they'll be like super edge cases though. That's the exception, not the rule, in my opinion. Kissabida is buy some Trump MAGA meme coin, main character of his new crypto era. There's a lot of Trump coins. Who knows which one will do well? Kissabida says, could see it do 10x really close to January 20th. It's possible. There's a lot of things that can go up, that some that do make sense, some that don't. Either way, the journey up is going to be interesting. Having held for 4 years, averages 0.003. Same. Yours with 100 million, mine with almost 2. Hold until NFT narrative or take profit while we can. What will we do? Well, you're not in profit right now. When you do get in profit, obviously, says I'll take both. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, by all means, if we're at like 0.005 before the narrative comes, and you're like, hey, listen, what if this narrative doesn't take hold? This bull cycle is a little different from last cycle. What if it doesn't? What if it doesn't come back? And you want to take some profits there, by all means, absolutely. I, of course, will not. I will not take profits for quite a while, because I know where this is going. Bob says, what's the Bitforex TLDR? I read it before. I'll read it again real quick if you're even still here. I don't know. I can't find it, but basically it was get your stuff off. If we're trying as best we can. Just wait longer. That's pretty much what they said. But it says, being a super long time VeVe been a super long time since VeVe has had a Grail drop. Oh, I mean, what do you call the David Yu? What do you call the Hulk 181? What do you call the have they had other Grail drops recently? I don't know. But yeah, it's been a while. But again, I think David Yu's I don't think they meant for him to be a Grail. I think it just, and not that he is one right now, but I think he does have the potential in the future. Is the drones are Project Bluebeam? Could be. It could very well be Project Bluebeam. We have no idea. We're just going to have to wait and see. But I'm interested in the outcome. Thunder C17 is the sign of whale manipulation. I forget what we were talking about. What time was this done? 18 minutes ago, but it could be. Joe Monocle says, from what I've understood, you well connected with whales and stuff. Some of them, yeah. What is the overall sentiment of the markets on VeVe? Heard if you're honest. I'm always honest. Generally pretty positive. Every now and then you get a whale that says like, hey, listen, I've been in this for a while. It's nothing but gone down. The opportunity cost, for OMI has been very high. What the fudge? And I'll tell them, I'll be like, listen, we might have been early. And could you have gone and bought something else in the meantime and made more money? Sure. That's the risk of investing. That's a risk of anything. But I firmly believe that OMI will outperform whatever you would have done with it otherwise. You're just going to have to give it more time. And I mean, if you're an investor, that you buy something, you hold. If you can't hold for at least 10, what is that famous Warren Buffett quote? You can't hold for at least 10 years, you shouldn't be investing. Now, obviously, that's a very old school way of looking at it, but a lot of these whales are not 20 years old. A lot of them are in their late 30s to like, there's one dude that's like 80 something, and he's got a bunch. And so a lot of these guys get it. They're like, okay, and sometimes you just need to vent. Sometimes when I was in high risk lending and I wanted somebody to take this deal, and like, this money's expensive. They're charging me like 23, 0.9%. How am I supposed to free my account? How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to make a living? And it's not like you don't talk, you don't interrupt when they're venting. You have to let them get it out, and you have to let them say their piece, and then when they're done, be like, I agree, understand 100%. It's expensive money. It is. But we've already established that with your margins and you can take this money and like triple your money. So is this expensive money? Yes. But what's more expensive is you saying adios to this money and not doing it, and you're costing yourself more in that long run. So a lot of times which again is very few of them, but when these whales come and say like, this opportunity cost is nuts, I'm regretting this decision. It's like, yes, you're right. There was an opportunity cost. But if you play these dominoes out and you say, what's the opportunity cost of like selling now, or what's the opportunity, like what would have been the opportunity cost if you did that other thing and never got into crypto, and you fast forward a year later from now, and suddenly you would have 100x from here, 300, 500x from here, whatever we have for them. Then that opportunity cost is writ small by the one that, a future with crypto investments and a future without crypto investments, 99 times out of 100, that future with crypto investments, as long as they're good projects, will severely outperform anything else that you could have done otherwise, in my opinion. Now, maybe there's other stuff, and you said, oh, well, if you traded here and did that, sure. Again, crystal ball in 2020, is 2020 vision. But the general overall sentiment among whales is very positive. They love what Ben's doing. They understand cycles to where like, okay, Bitcoin's pumped, and now, some alts are starting, like Devi with that 5x from the bottom in this last 3 months. That is something that there's like, wow, that timeline, wow, that changed, turn of a dime, that changed real quick. Yeah, it did. And that's something that had like it's not really well known yet, and it's nowhere near done. What happens to something like Definity that had like less than half the amount of market cap that did at the bottom? What happens when that goes crazy? For them to do what Devi is right now, that's a 10x from here for Definity. Now for OMI, again, obviously you can go in and say like, okay, well, 100x from here is 6 cents. That's a lot. It is. I think it gets there. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it only does a 10x from here. That's still a freaking 10x from here, which is like a doubling from where it was, like a week ago. But again, the general sentiment from whales is very positive, and it's just a waiting game. And I know there's some people that say, oh, it does no use to pretend, like if you won the lotto, what would you do? But I don't discourage them from doing that when they're in crypto and they have some of the things that they have. It's essentially like winning the lotto. You put in a couple $100,000 into something, and that does even just a 10x. Like, where else can you get, a couple $1,000,000? And that's just a 10x. There's a couple of things that will likely get 100, 300x, and they know it. So that's, again, the general sentiment is very positive. Joe Monocle says, I hold mostly season 1 and a few season 2 NFTs. What's the thought on those? It depends what they are. I think Adventure Time is great. I think Cartoon Network, I think, is really great. I don't know if there's anything from really season 1 that I would say is like bad. Like some things like, what do we have, like 50,000 DeLoreans? It's a lot. But I think a couple of these things are, and again, like 50,000, or I'm sorry, 28,000 Captain America first appearances, like the Marvel Mighties. A lot. Yeah. Again, there's some things that are better than others. But if it's popular and scarce, like the more popular, the more rare, the more scarce, like the better. And especially lower mint, the better. Now, obviously, number 3,117 and 7,697, 69. Nice. They're pretty interchangeable. But the number 4,811 versus the number 113, or versus like the number 50, big difference. I hope you recognize that. I hope people recognize that. Number 17 says, I have really poor posture. Pillow would help so much. Also a phone stand. I do. A lot of that is from my back is just my back. I had a lot of fights when I was younger, a lot of car accidents, a lot of stuff with the military happened. My back is done. this is actually one of the only ways that my back is not killing me. I could sit like this, and I could straighten out my back and be like, all right, and I could do this for like a minute or two, but that takes one, it takes a little effort, and also eventually this is going to start hurting. Where it's just easier to rest my elbows on here and just lean forward because it takes a little bit of pressure off the back. But yeah, no, agreed. One of those Alice Jones says Michelle. Yeah, yeah. I imagine he did say that. um, yeah, so I checked out Lobby Meme Coin about Bold Boy. I'll refresh it now. It was up 55% before, it's up 59% now. So I guess we had a little bit of more volume, and there's a lot of buys too. Had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's been like 10, 12 buys since before. Thought was interesting. Let's do a moon. No, I'm sorry, no. Let's do a Crappy Bird giveaway. Crappy Bird. All right, so yeah, well, anyone who can give the answer to a question that I'm about to ask, then you'll get a Crappy Bird giveaway. The contract address is down below. You will get some Crappy Bird tokens if you answer this question. Who sings this song? Are you listening? Hear me talk, hear me sing. Open up the door. Is it less? Is it more? Tell me to beware. Are you here? Are you there? Something I should know. Easy come, easy go. You're nodding your head. Don't hear the word I said. Can't communicate. Don't relate. Don't relate. Whoever sings that song and comments it, whoever comments down below who sings that song, you will get a Crappy Bird airdrop. I'll send you some Crappy Bird. All right, DM me your Crappy Bird wallet, and I will go and send you some Crappy Bird crypto. Dystopia. Actually, let me give a little. Oh my God, Eva saying Evanescence. Oh, you're so cute, Eva. I love you so much. No, it was Victoria Justice singing "Freak the Freak Out." I scream your name. It always stays the same. All right, sorry. Wes says, please say it's going lower again. Last time you said that, we exploded up. It can go lower. Absolutely, it can go lower. Again, we could go. We're staying in the 0006s for now, but we kind of did for a little bit last time. Then we went back down to 0005s, and we've done that multiple times. So it'll likely go down to the 0005s. That has been an area of support. So depending on, again, the last 4, this is the 4th time we've hit up to 0007s, and it's gone back down. That's a quadruple top. And the next time we go through it, we could break up from there. Or the next time we go back down to 0005s, we break below that and we get to the 0004s. And then we get to down to where can we go back down to? Get down to 0035, 33, 26. Don't know. Again, just last month, 0026. So we don't know. We'll see. Casey Piranha 58. I'm curious about Bitforex news also. They still have 1.5 million on my OMI. If you have KYC'd, and you have if you've KYC'd and you've clicked withdrawn and it shows 25%, then you're good. They will get to you at some point. Yeah. Jeremy Housen says, ha 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 ha, Wes. Dr. C17 says, China's constantly trying to steal our tech, so it makes sense we try to keep it a secret, especially when it's military tech. China has been trying to steal our tech for a long time. I've mentioned this before, so I'll mention it again right now. Oh, yeah. Lean back. Lean back. Oh, yeah. China and Russia has been paying Syria and Iraq and anywhere else that we're kind of in. I mean, we're in like 150 bases around the world. We're in a shit ton of countries. And they've said, hey, any tech lying around that you guys get for us, we'll pay you for it. And there was a unit called the CENTCOM Material Recovery Element, called CMRE. And their job would be to go get that equipment that was left for whatever reason and bring it back. But then it was determined that the potential threat that would fall upon the American lives was not worth the potential. I don't know how to call this. Because the U.S. out innovates so well, it was deemed an unnecessary threat to American lives to try to get back some of that equipment that maybe Russia or China would pay to reverse engineer, because the US would constantly out innovate much faster than those other countries could reverse engineer that tech. So it was just deemed like, hey, we're just not gonna do this anymore. But yeah, they try to do it all the time. They do it all the time. But the US's ability to out innovate is just incredible. So Jay says he does weekly streams of Luby art. Oh, very nice, very nice. So he does rip meme coiners. Why rip meme coiners? It's a lot of meme coins that do really well. Now, granted, most of them don't. Most of them are trash, but a lot of them do really well. Your refrigerator says, "What up, brother? Hope all is well." Season 1 OG here. Been out for a while, but still hodl everything. Red O $ OMI. Yeah, I believe that there's a good future for OMI. When does that good future forecast become a reality? We're not sure yet. Many people saying Q1, some Q2. We're not sure. Geopoliticals, appreciate it. I mean, if you're looking or index on VeVe, it's probably better going for OMI than based on what you said. I'd probably, yeah. But again, if collecting this stuff is fun, I like it. I love my Lokis, I love my Mighties, love it all. Case Brown says Bitforex wants us to go through KYC. That's no bueno, but you have to. If you want your OMI off there, you have to KYC. So VeVe, I gave you a message before. I shot you a message on the WhatsApp. Answer me, girl. Potential Human says, "'Tis the season, press the like button." Press. What's the quick? I will plead the fifth. I actually don't know it well enough to actually say, so I don't know. But either way, pleading the fifth. Thunder C17 says, "Do you own any launch pads?" I do not. Spores has a tiny. Oh, I actually do have Spores Network though. Has a tiny marketable market cap and is consistently the top 10 for funds raised. I do have some Spores. Between Standard Time and midnight to. But I don't. Yeah, I don't have any of the launch pads though. But let's take a look at the Spores real quick. SPO Spores Network 00047. When I bought it, it was around the same price, I think. Yeah, I think it was around the same price. Maybe it was like 0007. It was a little higher, but either way, it's volume $14,000, $2 million market cap. That's fully diluted. Yeah, I really like this one. I think it could do really well. So we'll see. That is Spores Network. I'm not sponsored, by the way. It's just I like them. Have a little bit of them. If you could have one VeVe premium collectible for Xmas, what would it be and what mint? I'd probably be a David Yu. So I would want I have all of the Mighties except for Ghost Rider and Spider-Man Noir. But Spider-Man Noir is like insane. It's like thousands of dollars. David Yu is just, I love him. So one of those two. The mint doesn't really matter. Just want one. Yay! Darklot is only coming back down to 0004. Well, the last 4 times we've been up here, we've gone back down to the 0005s. It might have wicked down to 000 like 49 once before, but then settled at like 0051. So it might go back down 0004s. It's possible we stay in the 0006s, but the last few times we've done this, it's gone back 0005, low 0005. So, but again, if it goes down there and breaks below it, It might pass through the 4s. It might go back to 003s. We don't know. Please do. Thanks. Yeah. So Victoria Justice. Oh yeah, congrats, Dystopia. Oh, VeVe Varsity. Evanescence. I love you so much. I did see Evanescence once in concert. She did something with Lindsey Sterling, and that was Jones Beach with my good friend. We were on a little bit of the Lucy, and we drank it, and we just, it was magical. When I tell you that, so beautiful. Dystopia says, I have to Google Crappy Birds now. When you see it on, again, contract address is down below, but when you see it on like Gecko Terminal, it's Crappy Bird with the yellow CTO on it because of the community takeover. And Chago Solo says, Randy, Chago, meow. Joe Monocle says, okay, appreciate your thoughts and opinions. I'm gonna leave you with some shills. You want them: Supra, KDA, Flux, Tara, and Agri. Tara, I think I've heard before. I think a buddy of mine does have some Tara. It's Taraxa, Tara XA, right? Tara. So a buddy of mine did tell me about that a while ago, and it's actually it's up quite a bit from there. It's up like 4x from there. Yeah, I don't think he mentioned it last year. Was it 4? It's like doubled since then. So yeah, he's got a good amount of that. I don't know what any of the other ones are. I think I've heard of Supra. We all gonna make 100%. We all. Hi there, Hay says, if we get exchanges and we start bouncing around my average, I will not sell till the NFT now. I will not sell. I will not sell. I will not sell. I'm not freaking selling. Did I ever tell you guys? So there's a story. Not even a real story. I was used to having a car with tinted windows, and then that car got beat up, and I had to drive a car with non-tinted windows. And I'd always be used to just going like, again, singing Victoria Justice, nod in your head, don't hear a word I said. And when I would go in and say, like, I could make a fool of myself because, I had tinted windows. And then, but also what I would do is, so I guess I have two of these stores. One is Simple Plan. No, it's Sum 41. The Sums. Oh god! All right, let me look at the song. There's two times where I've done this. The Sums, Sum 41. Still waiting. Okay. Yeah. So I was like, so am I still waiting for this world to? And it's like, drop dead, a bullet to my head. So I was like, straight out. And then this girl I was seeing at the time, she like saw me. I was like, of course it's you, and she's laughing her ass off. And then there was another time this happened where I just like to quote movies, and maybe this is why I know all these freaking lines. I like to quote movies in my spare time, and I was doing like the thing from Wolf of Wall Street, where I'm like, I'm not freaking selling, and I was like doing that face, and then I see these girls recording me. There's a video out there somewhere of me doing that, and then seeing the girls next to me record me. It's always girls. Always girls having that recording me. So yeah, that's little bit of dad lore for y'all. Pokemon or anime? Why not the Pokemon anime? Oh god, my back, my shoulders, my brazos. I think if we have Pokemon, we should do anime first. And again, they could do this with exchanges. They could do it with anime. Do it with whatever they have. Start off with the small ones first. Do working. Do cells at work. Do these smaller animes. Do Fruits Basket. Do Dead Man Wonderland. Do Death Note. Death Note was big back in the day. I don't know if it is now. And each time you do it, you get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then you do like, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen, let's get this bread. And then you just have, 7 deadly sins. And then you go on and you say like, okay, they have Attack on Titan. And they have My Hero Academia. And then you keep on going. So you get Dragon Ball freaking Z. And then the last one could be Pokemon. And then you just go crazy, folks. Go crazy. You could have a bunch of these things where every time you get a new one, you just a little bit of bump, a little bit of bump, a little bit of bump. Then obviously ending off with that Pokemon. But But if I had the choice of all anime versus Pokemon, gotta be Pokemon. Dude, you gotta catch them all. You gotta be Pokemon, because if you get Pokemon and if it does well, Nintendo's 1/3 owner of Pokemon, and they could be like, oh, okay, it's doing numbers. And then they go in and they say, okay, let's start small. Let's start with Ness and Earthbound. Let's start with F1 and Captain Falcon. Then we'll do Samus. And then we'll do Kirby, because Samus was in a Kirby game. They have that crossover. And then then we'll do Donkey Kong. Then we do Star Fox. We'll do all the characters of Star Fox in the Lilac system. And then it's like, okay, what else have we have for crossovers? Well, let's do Link. The Super Smash Brothers stuff. Let's do Yoshi. Let's do Mario. Oh my freaking goodness, Mario. And then obviously you could have anything with it. It's what you want. Everything you ever want. It's everything you ever need. And it's here right in front of you. Geopolitical said, did you say a little bit Lucy as in yes? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That is what I did with my homegirl, as we saw Lindsay Sterling and Evanescence. It was one of the greatest nights of my life. I love her. All three of them. Geopolitical, yeah. Friend of mine's been telling me about that one. VeVe says, I'm definitely buying 5 common Sabertooths tomorrow, so I can work my way up to the secret rare. But I'm waiting for the announcements, weekly drops before Christmas. Yeah, what is that going to be? What are we going to do? We'll see. Okay. This seems like a good place to end it, because I've been going on for a little more than 2 hours. A lot of stuff going on here. Let's do one more thing on the OMI here. Holding well at 6.3, so we'll see. For 4.3 million in volume. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I love you all. Class dismissed. Everyone say goodbye to Dashi. Goodbye, Dashi. I love you. And then balcony for the super chats. Goodbye, Dashi. Yeah. Screen.